Ryan grew up in a small apartment in the middle of a noisy city. The apartment building was old, the walls were thin, and the elevator rarely worked. Every morning, people rushed out of the building to catch buses, trains, and taxis so they could reach their jobs on time. Ryan's father worked in a warehouse lifting heavy boxes for long hours. His back often hurt, but he rarely complained. His mother worked at a small clothing store, folding shirts and helping customers throughout the day. Ryan's parents worked incredibly hard, but no matter how hard they worked, their financial situation never seemed to improve. Ryan noticed this from a very young age. He often heard his parents discussing bills late at night after they thought he had fallen asleep. Sometimes they worried about rent. Sometimes they worried about unexpected expenses. Those conversations stayed in Ryan's mind. He began asking himself a question. Why do some people struggle their whole lives while others build successful businesses? Ryan became curious. When he was 16, he started spending time online learning about how companies were built. He watched interviews with entrepreneurs. He read stories about people who started with almost nothing and eventually built successful businesses. The more he learned, the more fascinated he became. These people were not always born rich. Many of them had started from very ordinary backgrounds. Some had even failed many times before succeeding. Ryan realized something important. Success did not always come from luck. Often it came from persistence and learning. One evening, while sitting at the kitchen table, Ryan told his father something that surprised him. "Dad, one day I want to build a company." His father looked at him quietly. Then he smiled a little. "Building a company is not easy," he said. Ryan nodded. "I know." But deep down, Ryan believed something strongly. Even if it was difficult, it was possible. After finishing school, Ryan faced the same decision that most young people face. He could find a stable job and follow a predictable path, or he could try something uncertain. Most of his friends chose stability. They found jobs quickly and started earning money. Ryan chose a different path. He decided to try building something online. With the little money he had saved from part-time work, he bought a second-hand laptop. The laptop was old and slow. Sometimes it froze in the middle of his work. But Ryan didn't care. To him, that laptop was an opportunity. Every night, he sat at his small desk and started learning new skills. He learned about digital marketing. He learned how websites were built. He learned how online businesses attracted customers. The process was slow, sometimes confusing, but Ryan enjoyed it. Eventually, he decided to try his first business idea. He created a small online store selling simple digital products like templates and design resources. Ryan spent weeks building the website and preparing everything carefully. When the website finally launched, he felt excited. He imagined customers visiting the store and buying his products. But reality was very different. Days passed, then weeks, and nothing happened. No customers, no sales. Ryan refreshed his dashboard many times every day, hoping to see a notification, but the screen remained empty. The silence was frustrating. For the first time, Ryan began wondering if he had made a mistake. Maybe starting a business was much harder than he imagined. Maybe the people who said it was unrealistic were right. But instead of giving up immediately, Ryan decided to analyze what went wrong. He opened a notebook and started writing down everything he had learned. His products were good, but nobody knew they existed. His marketing was weak. His website had no traffic. Ryan slowly realized something important. Failure was not the end. Failure was information. If he learned from it, he could improve. That realization changed everything. Ryan closed his laptop that night and looked out the window at the bright city lights. The road ahead suddenly felt much longer than he expected. But strangely, he didn't feel discouraged anymore, because now he understood something powerful. Every successful entrepreneur he had studied had failed before succeeding. Failure was not the opposite of success. Failure was part of the journey, and Ryan had just taken his first step.
Ryan's first business attempt had ended quietly. No sales, no customers, just silence. For several days, he kept checking the website dashboard, hoping that something would change, but nothing did. The excitement he felt when he first launched the store slowly turned into frustration. Still, Ryan didn't close the website immediately. Instead, he asked himself an important question. Why did it fail? Most people quit without asking that question. Ryan wanted to understand. He opened a notebook and started analyzing every step he had taken. The product was not the biggest problem. The real problem was visibility. Nobody knew his store existed. He had created something, but he had not learned how to bring people to it. That realization pushed Ryan to start studying something new: marketing. For weeks, he spent hours watching tutorials, reading articles, and studying how successful online businesses attract attention. He learned about social media algorithms. He learned about search engines. He learned about digital advertising. The more he studied, the more he realized how much he still didn't know. But Ryan enjoyed the process. Every new lesson felt like unlocking another door. After several weeks of learning, he decided to try again. This time, his idea was different. Instead of selling digital products, he decided to offer a service. Ryan began helping small local businesses improve their social media pages. Many businesses in his city had accounts online, but barely used them properly. Ryan believed he could help them create better content and attract customers. He created a simple website explaining his services. Then he started contacting local businesses directly. The responses were not encouraging. Some business owners ignored his messages. Others politely declined. A few didn't even believe that social media marketing could help their businesses. One restaurant owner laughed and said, "My customers come here for food, not for Instagram." Ryan left the meeting embarrassed, but he refused to stop trying. Eventually, one small bakery owner agreed to give him a chance. The payment was small, but Ryan treated the project seriously. He spent days taking photos of the bakery's products and designing promotional posts. He scheduled social media content and created simple marketing ideas. When the posts went live, the bakery's page started receiving more engagement. Customers began leaving comments and sharing the posts, but the growth was slow. There was no instant success. The bakery owner appreciated the effort, but the results were not dramatic. Ryan had worked hard, but the breakthrough still hadn't come. Months passed. Ryan continued trying different ideas. He experimented with website design services. He tried affiliate marketing. He even attempted creating educational content online. Some projects showed small potential. Others failed immediately. Meanwhile, life around him continued moving forward. Friends who graduated with him now had stable jobs. Some were earning steady salaries. Some were planning their future. Whenever they met Ryan, they often asked the same question: "Are you still trying that online business thing?" Ryan would smile and say yes, but inside, doubt sometimes appeared. Even his parents began worrying about his future. One evening during dinner, his father spoke carefully. "You've been trying this for a long time. Maybe it's time to think about something more stable." Ryan understood his father's concern. From the outside, it probably looked like he was wasting years chasing uncertain dreams. But Ryan knew something that others could not see. Every failure was teaching him something valuable. He had learned website design. He had learned social media marketing. He had learned online advertising.
Without realizing it, Ryan had built a powerful set of skills. The only thing missing was the right opportunity. One night, Ryan walked to the rooftop of his apartment building. From there, he could see the bright city skyline, the same skyline that once inspired his dream. For a moment, he imagined what life would look like if he gave up. A regular job, a stable routine, a predictable future. There was nothing wrong with that life, but deep down, Ryan knew something important. If he quit now, he would always wonder what might have happened if he had continued. So he made a quiet decision. He would keep learning, he would keep trying, he would keep improving. Because success rarely arrives quickly. Sometimes it appears only after years of preparation. Ryan didn't know when his opportunity would come, but he believed something strongly. The people who succeed are not always the most talented. They are often simply the ones who refuse to stop trying. And Ryan had decided that quitting was not an option, even if the road ahead was longer than he ever imagined.
Ryan's journey had already taken several years. From the outside, it didn't look impressive. Many of his projects had failed quietly, and the few small successes he had experienced were barely noticeable. But something important had changed inside him. Ryan was no longer the inexperienced beginner he once was. Through years of experimentation and failure, he had slowly built a strong foundation of knowledge. He understood website design. He understood digital marketing. He understood how businesses attracted attention online. The only thing missing was the right opportunity. And sometimes, opportunities appear when people least expect them. One afternoon, Ryan received a message from an old classmate named Ethan. They had not spoken in several years. Ethan had recently opened a small fitness studio in another part of the city. The gym was well equipped and the trainers were good, but there was a serious problem. Very few people knew the gym existed. Ethan explained that he had seen Ryan posting about marketing and online business for years. He asked a simple question: "Do you think you could help my gym get more customers?" Ryan paused for a moment. This wasn't a big corporate project. It was just a small local gym. But Ryan felt something different about this opportunity. For the first time, he had years of experience behind him. He knew exactly where to start. Ryan met Ethan at the gym the following week. The place looked professional, but the online presence was almost invisible. The gym had a basic social media page that had not been updated in months. When people searched online for gyms nearby, Ethan's gym barely appeared. Ryan quickly understood the problem. The gym existed in the real world, but online it was almost invisible. Ryan offered Ethan a simple plan. First, he would redesign the gym's online profiles. Second, he would create consistent social media content to attract attention. Third, he would optimize the gym's online listings so people searching nearby could easily discover it. Ethan agreed. The budget was small, but Ryan treated the project like the most important opportunity of his life. For several weeks, Ryan worked carefully on every detail. He visited the gym and filmed short workout videos. He created promotional graphics and motivational posts. He also optimized the gym's online presence so it appeared in local search results. At first, nothing seemed different, but within a few weeks, something interesting started happening. People searching online for gyms in the area began discovering Ethan's studio. The social media page started receiving comments and shares. New members slowly began signing up. Ethan called Ryan one evening, sounding excited. "You won't believe this," he said. "This week we had more new members than any week since we opened." Ryan smiled quietly. For the first time, his work had created clear and measurable results. Soon, Ethan began recommending Ryan to other business owners. A yoga studio contacted him. A nutrition shop asked for marketing help. A small clothing brand wanted better social media promotion. Within a few months, Ryan realized something surprising. He was receiving more requests than he could handle alone. For years, he had struggled to find even a single client.
Now clients were coming to him. Ryan finally understood something powerful. All those years of failure had been preparing him for this moment. He had spent years learning skills that businesses needed. Now those skills finally had value. But success also created a new challenge: time. Ryan was working almost every day and still struggling to keep up with all the projects. Emails arrived faster than he could answer them. Deadlines began overlapping. For the first time in his journey, Ryan realized something important. If he wanted his business to grow, he could not do everything alone. He needed help. After thinking carefully, Ryan contacted a graphic designer he had met through an online community. The designer was talented but inexperienced. Ryan recognized something familiar in him, the same determination he once had. Together, they began working on projects. The difference was immediate. With two people working, projects were completed faster and the quality improved. Ryan focused on marketing strategy. The designer focused on visual content. Their partnership worked surprisingly well. Clients were happier, results improved, and Ryan's small business continued growing. For the first time in years, Ryan felt something he hadn't felt before: momentum. But what he didn't know yet was that an even bigger opportunity was waiting ahead, an opportunity that would soon transform his small freelance work into something much bigger than he had ever imagined.
Ryan's small business had finally begun gaining momentum. Only a few years earlier, he had struggled to find even a single client. Now his inbox was slowly filling with requests from business owners who wanted help improving their online presence. The partnership with the graphic designer turned out to be one of the best decisions Ryan had made. Together, they worked faster, delivered better results, and handled more projects. Local gyms, cafes, clothing brands, and small companies began trusting Ryan's marketing strategies. For the first time in his journey, Ryan felt something different: progress. But progress also brought new challenges. More clients meant more responsibility. Every business owner trusted Ryan to help them grow their companies. If he made mistakes, it could affect their income. That responsibility pushed Ryan to work even harder. He began organizing projects carefully. He created schedules for each client. He tracked marketing results and adjusted strategies when needed. Ryan also started studying advanced marketing strategies. He analyzed customer behavior. He learned how online advertisements worked. He studied how successful brands built loyal audiences. Slowly, his strategies became more effective. Businesses that worked with Ryan started seeing real improvements. Some gained more customers. Others increased their online sales. Satisfied clients began recommending Ryan to their friends and business partners. Word started spreading. Soon, Ryan's reputation extended beyond his neighborhood. Clients from other parts of the city began contacting him. The small freelance service Ryan had started in his bedroom was slowly turning into a real company. Eventually, Ryan realized something important. He could no longer manage everything alone. The workload had become too large. Late nights and long hours were becoming normal. Ryan knew that if he wanted the business to grow further, he needed to build a real team. After careful planning, he hired a freelance web developer to help build more advanced websites for clients. Later, he added a social media manager who specialized in creating engaging content. The team was still small, but their combined skills allowed them to deliver much stronger results. Ryan also rented a small office space so the team could work together. The office wasn't luxurious. It had simple desks, a whiteboard covered with marketing ideas, and a few laptops. But for Ryan, it represented something powerful. Just a few years earlier, he had worked alone in a small apartment. Now he was building a company. The team continued growing slowly. Projects became larger, clients became more serious. Then, one afternoon, something unexpected happened. Ryan received an email that made him stop working for a moment. The message came from a regional retail company. The company operated several stores across multiple cities. They had heard about Ryan's marketing work through a recommendation from one of his clients. The email explained that the company was searching for a marketing agency to improve their online visibility. They wanted someone who could redesign their digital marketing strategy and help attract more customers. For Ryan, this opportunity felt enormous. Helping small local businesses was one thing. Helping a company with multiple locations was something completely different. The project would require careful planning, strong teamwork, and advanced strategies. Ryan knew the decision would be important. If his team succeeded, their company could grow dramatically. If they failed, their reputation could suffer. For several days, Ryan thought carefully about the opportunity. The safe choice would be to decline the project and continue working with smaller clients. But deep inside, he remembered something important. Every step forward in his journey had once felt risky. Starting his first business felt risky. Continuing after repeated failures felt risky. Hiring his first team members felt risky. Growth always required courage. Finally, Ryan made his decision. He accepted the challenge. The team immediately began studying the company's marketing systems. They analyzed the existing website, they reviewed advertising campaigns, they studied how customers interacted with the brand online. The deeper they looked, the more opportunities they discovered. The company's website needed improvement. The advertising campaigns lacked clear targeting. The brand's online message was inconsistent. Ryan and his team began designing a completely new strategy. They planned a modern website redesign. They developed targeted advertising campaigns. They optimized the company's search visibility so customers could easily find their stores online. The project required long days and late nights, but Ryan felt something powerful. For years, he had prepared for an opportunity like this. Now it had finally arrived. And this time, he was ready. What Ryan didn't realize yet was that this project would soon become the turning point that changed his entire life.
Ryan stood in the small office late one evening while the rest of his team had already gone home. The lights from nearby buildings reflected through the window, and the city outside was slowly becoming quiet. On the whiteboard behind him were dozens of notes, ideas, and marketing strategies for the large retail company project his team had been working on for months. This project was the biggest challenge Ryan had ever faced. Just a few years earlier, he had been struggling to find even a single client. Now his small team was responsible for helping a company with multiple stores across several cities. The pressure was real. But Ryan also understood something important. Opportunities like this did not come often, and when they did, they had the power to change everything. For several months, Ryan and his team worked harder than ever before. They redesigned the company's website to make it faster and easier for customers to use. They improved the company's search engine visibility so people could find the stores online. They launched targeted advertising campaigns designed to reach the right customers instead of wasting money on broad marketing. Every strategy was tested. Every campaign was analyzed and improved. Slowly, the results began appearing. Website traffic increased. Online engagement grew. Customers started discovering the company through online searches. Within a few months, the retail company's management team noticed something exciting. Sales across several locations had increased. More people were visiting the stores. Ryan's marketing strategy was working. One afternoon, Ryan received a call from the company's director. The conversation lasted only a few minutes, but those few minutes changed everything. The director explained that the marketing campaign had exceeded expectations. The company wanted to extend their partnership with Ryan's agency and expand the campaign even further. For Ryan, this was the moment he had been waiting for. His small agency had proven that it could deliver real results for large clients. Soon after that success, something unexpected happened. More businesses began contacting Ryan's agency. Word had spread about the successful campaign. Companies from different industries wanted help improving their marketing strategies. Ryan's team suddenly found themselves handling projects for larger and larger clients. Within the next year, the agency expanded rapidly. More designers joined. More marketing specialists were hired. The small office moved to a larger workspace in the city. What once started as a small freelance project in Ryan's apartment had now become a growing digital marketing company. One evening, Ryan sat alone reviewing the company's financial dashboard. The numbers on the screen made him pause. Total company revenue had passed $1 million. Ryan leaned back in his chair and smiled quietly. Not because of the money itself, but because of what that number represented. Every failure, every doubt, every late night when he wondered if he should quit, all of those moments had slowly built the path that led here. Ryan realized something powerful in that moment. Failure had never been the opposite of success. Failure had been the training. Without those early failures, he would never have learned the skills or developed the resilience needed to build a real company. A few days later, Ryan returned to the apartment building where he had grown up. The same building, the same narrow hallways, the same small rooms. But everything felt different now. Years earlier, he had stared out the window at the bright city skyline, wondering if his dream would ever become real. Now he understood something important. Success is not about where you start. It is about whether you keep moving forward. Ryan often shared one simple lesson with young entrepreneurs who asked about his journey. Success rarely comes from one perfect idea. Success comes from persistence. It comes from learning from every mistake instead of giving up. Most people stop when things become difficult, but the people who eventually succeed are simply the ones who refuse to quit. Ryan's story proved something powerful. Sometimes the only difference between failure and success is the courage to try one more time, and that single decision can change everything.